Hey guys, and welcome to patch 7.21 breakdown here. Just got time to finally do this. It's been quite a long day, and just to give you guys a little update, I've been working hard the past week to try and improve myself at what I'm doing, my art, my shoutcasting, because I had a week off of school. It was vacation, had no papers to write, so I was like, well, I have time now, and I really want to do this. So I talked to a lot of guys, and I improved a lot. Now, however, I'm back in school, and this has been a long day for me. Finally got time to do this, so let's jump into it. I know that Galio has seen some buffs, and we'll have to talk a little bit about him because apparently he's very strong right now. So starting out with a seer. His Q damage has been reduced at later ranks, soldier damage reduced at later levels too. So looking at numbers, it's not that much that they've been changed. It's like 5 it's been changed on the soldiers. So it isn't that much, like it's 5 damage. What I think is the biggest problem is the congruent stance. That is quite a lot of damage that has been taken away from that, 20 damage, and it is one of his main poke damage outputs. So I believe that it does mean that he will be a little bit less strong in lane with these changes. Will it knock him out? I don't even think that he's in the current match. I don't see anyone playing him, so I think that it's fine. Maybe in solo queue he's a bit too strong, maybe if you play him correctly, but it is a very high skill ceiling on that champion. So I don't see the biggest change right there. Echo, passive damage from monsters increased. So apparently I think that is because when going Echo jungle, they want to promote that in a way that he's played as he's supposed to be, as an assassin. An AP assassin, of course, not as a tank. And now with this passive being buffed, I mean it will make him kill minions faster as an AP assassin, but obviously it also means that his damage output as a tank will be buffed. And if we do see a return of these early game junglers, then he will certainly be a pick to consider when looking for someone to pick up. Evelyn, E% health, minimum damage set. I haven't seen too much of Evelyn, to be honest, so I can't say too much about this, though I've seen her in ARAM, where she was pretty busted. That's all I can say. I haven't seen too much of her in pro play, or sorry, not pro play, in whatever leagues I cast, and therefore I can't say too much about her. Galio, that's the one that we've all been looking for. Q&E base damage decreased, passive QWE ability power ratios increased, W physical damage reduction increased. Those are decreased. So I've been told that, okay, so looking at this. So he's getting a lot of extra damage coming in from his radios. His maximum health damage on his Q has been increased. His passive has been increased in ability power. Okay, so yeah, I can see why this guy's busted. It doesn't matter that you take away the raw damage. When you add this much ability power ratio to that guy, then it will just mean that he'll become, well, basically strong. I've seen videos of him where he can one-shot people, and I think that is mainly because of this AP ratio being increased on this guy, and therefore I think that he's going to be Philo for the next patch or so, unless someone bug fixes him. Q gold on kill increased, so we're going up 1. Just a minor buff, nothing too game changing, will not affect him that much. Ramus W armor bonus increased at later ranks, W flat magic resist, and percentage decreased. So with more armor, he'll be able to have a more effective time. Sorry, and a more effective time in the jungle, and he's definitely not a bad pick at all. Like, if you want a tank who has to be able to gank very efficiently, then Ramus is a fine choice to go for. He's not the one that brings too much damage, and obviously if Satriani or Maokai Cho'Gath is open, then by all means go for that. That's 100% better. But Ramus is a good choice, and I think that with you giving him more armor to work with, it does mean that he'll be able to sustain better in the jungle and therefore become a better tank to work with as well. Satriani, innate armor and magic resistance reduced, but passive grants more at later levels. Passive shield duration and cooldown better early versus late. Base damage reduced. Okay, so the thing about Satriani is that she deals too much damage coming from a tank. So I do agree with her permafrost being nerfed. It does bring a lot of damage. I do agree with them keeping shatter damage up as well, because it is maximum health. So it isn't necessarily bad. She has to deal some damage, or else she won't be able to do anything. But taking down the freeze damage is fine, because that's not where she has to get her damage from anyways. She has too much resistance and too much defensiveness in the early game coming from a tank, so therefore I believe that taking away some of her stats also means that she will be able to have a harder time in the jungle, where this maximum health from her permafrost comes in and makes her more effective. So I like these changes. I don't think it'll tip Satriani off of the scale, but it are changes that you have to look. So these are changes that you have to look out for, because it will mean that there might be a better tank coming out. Not in terms of damage, but in terms of clearing the jungle. Attack damage per level increased on Udyr. Tiger Strike scaling total attack damage ratio increased. Phoenix Strike ability power ratio increased. So I think Udyr is a stupid champion. I think that if you get ahead, or if you just know how to play him effectively, you're able to bully so much, and he has everything in his kit. He's not an outstanding champion, but just if you are able to play the basics on this guy very good, then you're able to dominate. So I think he's a stupid champion. I don't think that he needs buffs, because I don't want to see this guy back in meta. Are the buffs needed? Yes, one would say. Because he's not anywhere in the meta. So you have to buff him. But I just don't want to see the champion. Passive damage decreased at early ranks on Urgot, but cooldown decreased at later ranks. Q detonates more quickly. I haven't seen too much Urgot, to be fair. From what I've seen, he's a very dominant lane bully, but he doesn't bring too much damage at all. Sorry, too much mobility at all. So he's very easy to gank, and I think that if you're able to find him on the wrong foot, then you are able to kill him very easily. Can't quite remember, what is his passive? Okay, so yeah, the passive is the one where you have like these shotguns coming off on your legs. Passive damage decreased at early ranks, but cooldown decreased at later ranks. Okay, so you have, yes, okay, cooldown decreased. Wait, so you have a better cooldown, but you have less damage to work with, basically. I think that's fine. You need to take away some of his damage to make people be able to go up against him, because someone like the Renekton will not be able to go up against this guy for too long, because he will be able to dish out so much damage. But I do think that these are fine, meaning that he's not a squishy. He's still a bully. He can still pour out tons of damage, but he's immobile, and now you actually have some counterplay to him because of him not having as much damage. Since I don't care. Ardent Sensor, attack speed and on-hit reduced. Yes, that is Ardent Sensor gone. It brings no damage anymore, no attack speed. So Ardent Sensor will not be the best choice anymore. I don't think you will see it very often. People might still pick it up just for the extra attack speed, but you won't see it very often anymore. And I think we're going back to more of a tank meta in the bottom side. Especially with Frozen Heart apparently being buffed, giving 100 armor. That means that someone like Thresh going up against 80 carries, if we still continue with this 80 carry being the playmaker meta, well then that might just mean that tanks will come back. Especially with Ardent Sensor not being as strong anymore. Tear of the Goddess can now occur. Stacking effect can now occur up to 3 times every 12 seconds. So you can stack it faster. Yes, that's about it. Yeah, you can stack it faster. Could be a way for them to get Ezreal back to the bottom side. Will it work? I don't think so. It's not about him having to stack. It's about him not being strong enough in lane. And obviously scaling up too fast. That does, sorry, scaling up too slow. And obviously that means that it is a problem with his mana moon. Sorry, moon mana. Mana moon. But you still have to keep in mind that the guy has literally no laning phase. If he just screws up once, or even has a bad matchup, he's out of the game. So it's not. In theory, it is a problem with scaling, but you have to buff him in lane before he can scale up and become this guy that you want to look at picking up in the bottom side. But I think that's about it. So thank you all for watching. Have a good one, and remember, follow me, leave a like, subscribe, all of that, yada yada, and well, I'll catch you next time.